PPG is a global coatings leader. Paints and specialty coatings used in automotive, aerospace, industrial equipment, and protective applications. The business is built on long-term customer relationships, technical know-how, and pricing discipline. The key drivers are construction and manufacturing cycles, raw material costs, and how well PPG converts innovation into margin and returns. This margin chart tells you a lot about PPG's pricing power. Gross margin stays relatively resilient over time, while net margin is more volatile. That's where costs, integration, and cycle effects show up. The spike around 2013 looks like an outlier, but the bigger story is, margins generally recover after tough periods, which is what you want in a cyclical industrial name. Here we see the scale and earnings engine. Revenues trend higher over the long run, and EBITDA also climbs, which suggests PPG isn't only growing sales, it's maintaining decent profitability while doing it. The dips and flat periods reflect demand cycles in construction and industrial markets, but overall the direction is positive, and that supports dividends and buybacks. ROIC is the quality filter. It shows whether growth is creating value. PPG's ROIC is mostly in the low to mid-teens, with some standout years and some softer years. That's a solid range for an industrial coatings business. When ROIC compresses, it usually means cost pressure, weaker demand, or integration drag, and those are exactly the risks investors should watch in the current cycle. This leverage chart looks pretty conservative overall. Most years sit around roughly 1 to 2 times, with a spike into the mid-2s in 2021 to 2022. That timing makes sense. Acquisitions and a tougher macro backdrop can push leverage temporarily higher. The key takeaway is that leverage doesn't look out of control, but in higher rate environments, keeping this metric stable matters a lot. Now the market's price tag. EV to EBITDA rises into the mid-teens around 2020 to 2021 and then compresses into the low teens more recently. That's the classic rates up, multiples down story. Investors demand a higher return, especially for cyclical businesses. If fundamentals stay solid, a lower multiple can improve expected returns, but it's only attractive if margins and demand don't roll over. EPS is noisy here, but the trend is still useful. You get a big spike around 2013, then normalization, and later another climb with some volatility. For PPG, swings can come from cycle conditions, pricing versus input costs, and one-time items. The important part, if EPS can hold up in the next down cycle, that's what justifies a quality industrial valuation. ROA is another efficiency check, how well the asset base produces profit. You can see it's generally mid-single digits, with a clear hit around 2009 and softer points later. That's typical for an industrial tied to the economy. The recent rebound suggests operations are healthier again, but ROA can fall quickly if demand slows or input costs spike faster than pricing. This is the long-term shareholder story. Dividends steadily step higher over time. That kind of consistency usually signals disciplined capital allocation and confidence in cash flows. For a company like PPG, the dividend isn't the only return driver, but a rising dividend can anchor the stock when the cycle gets rough. Dividend growth is positive and fairly consistent, with some years accelerating and others slowing. That pattern is actually healthy. It suggests management adjusts growth to the environment instead of forcing it. In cyclical industries, slower dividend growth during uncertain periods can be a sign of prudence, not weakness. Finally, payout ratio, the safety check. Most years sit at moderate levels, but there's a huge spike around 2009, which likely reflects earnings pressure during the downturn. Since then, it generally looks more controlled. If payout stays reasonable while earnings remain stable, the dividend is well supported. The main risk is a sharp margin squeeze or demand downturn that hits EPS. Let's go through the key risks for PPG, because coatings can look stable but the real swings come from the cycle and costs. Number 1 is cyclical demand. PPG sells into construction and industrial production, so when the economy slows, customers delay projects, reduce orders, and volumes can drop quickly. Second is raw material and energy inflation. Coatings depend on chemical inputs, resins, solvents, and pigments. If those costs rise faster than PPG can push pricing through, margins compress even if revenue looks fine. Third is the pricing versus volume trade-off. PPG has pricing power, but there's a ceiling, especially when customers get price sensitive and competitors become aggressive. If pricing holds but volumes weaken, growth quality deteriorates. Then you have end market exposure, especially industrial and automotive/OEM demand. Those markets can be volatile, and OEM customers are tough negotiators. Add FX headwinds from a strong dollar, which can drag reported numbers, and regulatory pressure in chemicals and VOC standards, which can raise costs over time. PPG's risk isn't usually a collapse. It's a combination of softer volumes plus cost pressure that hits margins and keeps the multiple from expanding. Now let's flip to opportunities, because PPG is a cyclical business, and that's exactly where setups can form. In the short term, the biggest opportunity is a margin rebound. If raw material and energy costs stabilize, or even soften, PPG can often hold pricing for a while, which creates positive margin catch-up. Add productivity programs and mix improvement, and EBITDA can recover faster than the market expects. Another near-term lever is volume stabilization. If industrial activity and construction demand stop deteriorating and simply normalize, PPG's operating leverage can kick in, because the cost base is relatively fixed. And if rate expectations improve, you can also get a valuation re-rating in a stock that's been trading more cautiously. In the long term, the opportunity is PPG's ability to shift toward higher value, performance coatings, where pricing power and customer stickiness are stronger. Infrastructure maintenance, protective coatings, and aerospace cycles can provide multi-year demand tailwinds. And if management stays disciplined with portfolio moves and ROIC-focused M&A, PPG can keep compounding cash flows through the cycle. So the bull case is better margins near-term and higher quality mix over time, while the market still prices it like a plain industrial. Analyst sentiment here is cautiously constructive. We've got one strong buy and 9 buys, but also 14 holds and importantly 0 sells. That mix usually means analysts respect the business quality, but they're not convinced the stock is a clear bargain right now. For PPG, the hold, heavy skew often comes down to the cycle and expectations. Coatings are tied to construction and industrial activity, so analysts want more visibility on volume recovery and margin direction, especially with input costs and competitive intensity still moving around. In other words, the company can be solid, but the near-term setup may not be clean enough for a stronger consensus. The upside is that you don't need a perfect macro environment for sentiment to improve. If margins stabilize and management shows steady execution, pricing discipline, productivity, and decent demand trends, those holds can turn into buys quickly. And with no sell ratings, the street is basically saying, the downside case looks limited, but the timing and valuation still matter. If this breakdown helped you, please hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Your support really helps me make more of these analysis videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.